The Brandon Peters Show may contain explicit language and detailed plot points. For more information on the show, stay tuned to the end of the episode. And now, here he is, Brandon.
Where do we want to start on this?
Goodness. Okay, volunteering at PopCon. How long have you been volunteering at PopCon?
How long have I been volunteering at PopCon? I was volunteering at PopCon before there was PopCon.
Fair.
So I've known Carl, who's one of the owners, for almost 20 years now.
Wow, okay.
And so we had some gaming sessions at his house that turned into, hey, I want to start this convention with a bunch of guys, and what do you think we need to have there? If like you're going to come to the show, what would you want to see? And so it started out talking about like different authors or like guests that I would like pay money to see, right? So that's kind of how I felt like I've started.
The first thing you said, I want to see a lot of volunteers because you're going to need a lot of volunteers to do a convention like that.
We do need a lot of volunteers. You're exactly right. In Indy, we have about 175 volunteers.
Wow.
Over the course of 4 days, which is it's a lot of people to wrangle.
That's a lot more than they started out with, I bet.
Yeah. It's been a very much a growing experience. I did not start as the PopCon volunteer director. That happened in 2016. So, everything grows, gets better, and that came out of that growing is that we needed better organization. People needed know more information. So I stepped up, and that's what I've been doing since then for every PopCon, be it Fort Wayne or Louisville. I have been helping out with that. So how long have you been helping with PopCon, specifically PopCon?
Specifically PopCon. 2019 was my first PopCon. So, and volunteer since day one, which I love. So 6 years, but I've been volunteering for conventions for 12. What about you?
Oh, I have
How many years?
been volunteering for conventions or festivals for 40 years.
Wow, okay. Now what makes PopCon different?
PopCon, I don't know. It has some of the same vibes as stuff I've been doing because I've been doing one show for 40 years, and it has some of those same vibes that you're coming back to see family that you only get to see once a year. In PopCon's case, right now it's twice a year, which is great. We have friends that come in from around the country. We have people coming from Houston, Texas. We have people coming from, for the indie show, they come from down here in Louisville, or at the Louisville show, we've got people from Cincinnati and Evansville coming from all over the place. And just to make sure everybody has a good time. Right?
That's it. I like the word family because convention folk are really, it's a family. It's your chosen family.
Yeah, it's the family you get to pick, right?
You get to pick.
That makes it, a very unique experience. I don't know. I haven't been involved in a lot of stuff where you get the same vibes, as doing this. And I get to meet all of them. And, it's been great, a great experience for me. And because I get to meet cool people like you, like we would have never met, maybe at Gen Con.
Well, and that's the funny thing. I think, we should go into more detail into. So you are the volunteer director now, which for Indy, like you said, is roughly 170 people. So that's a lot of coordination. That's a lot of communication.
It is.
it's a lot of different things that need to happen once we get on site to the show. So
It is. Hey, there's a
booed on our
famous
first episode.
Brian Alford.
Brian Alford booing us. He's a pro. This can't be a good sign.
Yeah. Well, this is the second time. He I think he wants us to bring him up on stage. And,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Talk about
Brian,
volunteering.
do you want to come interview us? We're talking about Les's important job.
So we were discussing that we probably never would have met unless we
Unless I
ran
volunteered,
into.
yep.
Yeah, unless you volunteered.
So I was brought in from a different convention. You're going to see it here. I'll just talk to you. I'm going to tell you my PopCon story. I was brought in from a different convention, asked to fill out an application to be a volunteer for PopCon just because they needed a couple extra hands. You know about that. So I came in 2019. It was my first experience with a YouTube talent, which was very fun. So for 2 days, I got to sit with it. Whoa, I'm going to fall over.
You okay?
2 days, I got to sit with a YouTube talent. And then on the third day was my first day as my current job, the Hand of Les. So
I don't know if your mic's on.
did we check?
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
Brandon, can we get another
Hey,
mic?
Brandon, volunteer guy, running the stage. Turn it, Brian.
I thought it was that one, but I wasn't.
Thank you.
All right, we're live. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, how you doing?
So we're chatting about volunteering.
Ooh, see, that's something I've never done yet
Why not?
at any con, because I'm
Why?
afraid. No,
There's nothing to be afraid of.
I'm scared. No,
Probably because
no, I need to. I think I need to because when I come to a show, you guys know I'm here to
work.
tell you how wrong you guys were. No,
Oh, sure. Yeah,
Tell us how bad
I've
of a
read your
job we're
comments
doing at the
since,
podcast.
since the
No.
first show.
I'm the undercover agent for PopCon. No.
I like that role.
No,
That's a good role for you.
Undercover boss. No, but no, it's I think to help me do what I do better would be
It would
to
give you
see
a
how
great
the sausage is
perspective.
made of a convention, kind of.
You don't want to see how the sausage is made, just like in real life, like eating sausage. You don't want to see how it's made because it's a little crazy,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
and it's like it's not necessarily for everybody. It's not everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah.
that's what
Maybe
I'm gonna
not,
say.
No, but
Yeah.
I think it is a good way if you've never been to a convention before. At least for me, I've noticed that some folks
Yeah.
will opt to volunteer first.
Yeah.
It's a way to kind of you get in the door and you already have a job, so you're not overwhelmed by all of the things that you're seeing. You have a task, and
Do you-
then you just by default see
Do
everything.
you think? Because I know you guys were con goers before you started working
Sure.
at a con.
Yeah. Well,
Did it?
sure.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Did it? How much did it change your viewpoint of when you now go to other shows?
being an attendee as opposed
Yeah.
to a volunteer?
Yeah.
That's a great question for
Oh,
Les because here's a fun fact about me. I've never been an attendee at a convention. Never, ever.
Really?
Very
Okay.
let's see. I went to Rooster Teeth Con in Austin 2 years ago.
I thought it was last year. It
Uh,
was 2 years ago. Yeah,
Yeah, it was 2 years ago, and it was enjoyable. It wasn't this like I'm pointing as a great audio bit. It's not this. As
We're
I
live on
point
stage, Louisville
across the
PopCon,
vendor
in case
hall.
anybody forgot.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, not yeah. So
yeah, right.
I went to this Rooster Teeth Con and hung out. And since I've been working at PopCon for so long, I'm evaluating what they do. Right?
It's
As
very,
an- as
it
an
is very hard
attendee,
not to do that.
Yeah, it's impossible. And it's the same thing I do for work. It's impossible for me to go to a sporting venue
So
and not evaluate what the guys running the board show are doing.
So what sucks is I worked in retail for 20 years before I took a head dive into content creation.
Sure.
And so, yeah, I feel that same exact way. Like when I go into any retail store, I hate that
You're
like
looking at
business
how
side.
things are set up.
I
You're
feel like
looking
I
at how things
overanalyze, and it sometimes ruins my experience as a customer.
And maybe that's a reason. Maybe that's a good reason for me not
know what
to
I mean?
attend. Not to be an attendee.
You would probably be
'cause I'm a
overly
better
critical,
volunteer.
and you're like,
Yes.
Hey,
I'm a better volunteer.
There's our friends
You're
from
not doing
Anime
this right.
Crossroads. They need volunteers at their show too.
Yes,
don't
they do.
you?
We're chatting.
Yeah.
About,
Hey, we're talking about volunteering at conventions. You want to add anything? Yeah, here
I'll
comes
see you guys.
Megan. Yeah, see you,
Thanks for
Brian.
having me
Thanks
up
for
This
thanks
is
for coming
Megan.
in.
Please chat
Yeah.
with Megan with Anime Crossing.
Oh, hi, everybody. Oh, yeah, I'm tiny. I'm not quite as tall. I will say if you volunteer, it's only a matter of time before you become staff. It's just a slippery slope.
That's a great call.
You start at one, then they find out if you're worth anything, and then another convention takes you. And it's the way to do it, though.
Yeah.
It's a good way to get in, and the other thing I think that people forget about is volunteering is a good way to get into the convention and not have to pay for it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So when
sometimes it's
cost
badge
savings there.
reimbursement. Sometimes it's right up front.
yes.
yeah. So when you gonna come work for me?
You know what? I've literally offered myself to you every time I see you. I'm like, hey, if you just see me walking around and you need me, at Indie PopCon, I think I always
Indie,
try to make sure and let you know that I am available.
I know, but
you just let me know.
Yeah.
Let me know I'm there.
Okay.
I love stretching myself as thin as possible.
Absolutely.
But you're normally working a table, right?
Oh, yeah.
Advertising your convention.
True, yes, but my team has gotten so good that they do so great without me. So, and I honestly, with my severely unchecked ADHD, would prefer to walk around. So, if there's anything like that.
Now, did your team start out as volunteers?
Yeah, I think every single one of them did. Yeah, I certainly did. I volunteered and sat a couple doors for 1 year, and then I got pulled into food service. So we were feeding the whole convention.
Okay.
And I did that for a couple years, and then they're like, "Oh man, I have my own business." They're like, "Your Instagram, all of that looks so good. Who does that?" And I said, "Oh, I do. I did at the time. I don't anymore." I said, "Oh, I do." And they're like, "Oh, we got a job for you." So, and now, boom, I'm a director somehow.
You're a director.
I'm an adult.
Yeah. An honest to God
Very,
adult.
very responsible.
In charge of
and
other
mature.
people.
I'm
I'm
I am.
assuming. Yeah.
Yeah, somehow. For now, doing the best I can.
I'll talk to Felicia about that.
Yeah, well, all good things, okay?
Yeah.
But yeah, we love PopCon, and I absolutely love my PopCon family, so I'm down to clown whenever you'll have me.
You guys have asked me to volunteer for you guys.
Oh, have we?
Yeah. Felicia's like,
Got a
hey.
job
I was
for
going
ya.
to say, Felicia asks me every year.
Yeah,
Was
yeah,
it
every
in the
year.
Maid
Every year.
Cafe, though, for you?
Well,
It was the Maid Cafe.
if you want to see me in the Maid Cafe, that's not volunteer status. That's paid status for that.
Understood. Yeah, no, I like it. We all just
hey,
kind of...
there goes Adam Sandler, everybody.
It's the
right
real
there in the
Adam
PopCon.
Sandler.
The real Adam
I
Sandler
hear he
is at
loves
PopCon.
that. I hear he loves
it's his
that.
favorite thing.
Yep.
Adam Sandler is also volunteering at PopCon.
Yeah, liaison.
Yeah, as a driver. So that, we have all sorts of different opportunities at PopCon, and I'm sure at Anime Crossroads as well. You guys have all kinds of opportunities.
Oh, yeah,
for
anywhere
different
from-
kind of volunteers.
Anywhere from sitting at a door and being very comfortable and just checking badges to running around as a gopher, and all kinds of positions.
Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff to do. Well, thank you very much for
thanks
stopping
for
by.
snagging
What
me
a
out
fun
of the crowd.
special guest.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so that's Megan from Anime Crossroads. Check them out. They're Plainfield. Magical Field. Okay, gotcha.
So she brought up a good point that I wanted to chat about. So
Okay, sure.
sitting in front of doors, chat about that. It's not a fun job, but
Well,
it's so important.
No.
You think it's fun to
It
check
can
badges?
be a fun job.
It's fun to people watch.
It is fun to people, and you just have to have the right personality to do it.
Oh,
Right?
yeah, that's fair.
Right? You have to.
I'm not a sit
you
in
have
front
to
of a door
chat.
and check badge kind of gal.
Yeah, we're talking about PopCon volunteering. If you want to be a volunteer,
Just chatting about the different things we get to do.
Yeah, and how that if you work a day for us, you get a free day badge. Yeah, you didn't know that, did you?
Sparked your interest. There you
Yeah.
go.
And how do we get this? How do you get set up to do it? Well, that's a great
That
question.
is an excellent question.
So there's an application online. They are not live yet for the indie show, but you will fill out an application. That application hits our database, and I look at that. And, judging by what you've done in the past, as far as volunteering at other shows, or if you're brand new, I evaluate what you've done, how many days you can work, and compare that to what we have available shift-wise, and we go from there. I shoot you an email and be like, if somebody says, this is the typical thing I get on my applications, hey, I want to work as much as I can. I'm like, and so my email back is like, are you sure? Because Amy,
That's a-
how much is
That
as
is a
much as you
dangerous
can?
thing to offer for anyone who wants to fill out a volunteer application for the first time. Please do not say you have open availability. Those are the wrong words. I'm just kidding. Those turn into the favorite volunteers. However, we will use you if you say you are available. There's always something to do at a convention. So.
Okay.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Sure. Oh, and that's
So that's we were just talking about that.
and then what happens is that one day grows into 2 days, and then before you know it, you're like, oh, why am I doing PopCon stuff on Tuesday and the show's not till Friday? You know, exactly. So
watch for the application for sure.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you.
how far ahead of time do the applications go out? We generally, my goal is 6 months before the show. I hope to have the application for Indianapolis live probably by January 5th is what I'm thinking. We are changing our software that we're using, so it might be a little glitchy at the beginning, but it's
Are you part of the Facebook group? Okay, we'll join. Yeah, Discord. We'll post everywhere once they're live.
Yeah, once we have the application up and going, and then it like I said, comes to me. We chat and go, and then I say, "Do you really want to work all 4 days? Because that's a big time commitment. Because our shifts are generally long, but we do staff enough people where you get breaks and get to walk around. We give people per diems for lunch." And then you also can get a free day if you don't want to work all 3 or 4 days. So it's a great way to come and see the show. We give you T-shirts. Sometimes you get, we have a table of just stuff that artists have given us. We have prints. We have 3D printed fidget spinners. We got all kinds of stuff up in the volunteer headquarters. And, it's unique stuff that only the volunteers get, right? There's some things that nobody else in the entire show is going to get these. So there is some exclusive stuff towards them. And then you just get to hang out with cool people like me and Amy, which is good.
Great
Okay.
question.
The question was, what is our biggest need, essentially, right? Okay. That kind of varies, right? So I've been the volunteer director for PopCon since 2016. And how it works is once you volunteer, you're the first people that get asked back. So if you volunteered for us once, I'm going to send out a mass email to all my past volunteers and be like, hey, guys, it's time. Fill out your application. And then spots will fill up. Fills in the grid, right? And then I open it up to the general public. And then, I fill the rest of the spots up. My biggest needs generally are working doors, checking badges, working panel rooms.
I think,
and it also depends on your skill set. Like this weekend, it's been hard for us to get people at the game demo area because you have to, one, know how to play board games, and two, which is a totally different skill set, is be able to teach somebody how to play board games. And what were you going to add?
No, I was just going to add, other than, specific jobs, I would say what we need the most of is a positive attitude, a willingness to do anything, and really a love for PopCon and a want for the attendees to have a good time and for everybody to really have a great show. So I think as long as you show up and just say, hey, I'm here to help. I'm here to help things go well. There's always, like he said, there's a million things that need to happen. There's a million things happening that we hope the attendees don't see, but the volunteers are a huge, huge part of that.
So we have, over the course of these 3 days, we've had 80 people helping us.
A great number,
right.
yes. Very great.
Yeah. You just said, oh, wow.
Great number, yes. Yes.
Well, yes.
It could be why we're exhausted.
Yes.
My voice is going less, it's barely on a second.
We just had our first meal of the day.
We did have just finished our first meal. So. But we do.
And I got here at, I think I was one of the first people here in the convention hall, and I was here slightly before 7:30. And I will not, like last night, it's the same thing. Yesterday I was here 7:30, and we left for dinner at when was it 9 o'clock?
I'd say 8:30ish.
9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And Friday night we didn't get out of here until
it was even later. Yeah.
10 or 10:30. Oh yeah. We do get to, like, Amy and I's position is slightly different than most of the volunteer positions. We do have like a leadership structure. So there are area leads that are in charge of different sections. So we have Bree has been our area lead for panels for years.
Several years.
Yeah,
yep.
Several years. We have Todd, who's in charge of our VIP room. We have Scout, who's in charge of the main stage. We have somebody, Felicia generally runs the volunteer headquarters for us. We have people running the green room for us. We have people in vendor registration. We have people at registration. You guys probably met some of those folks just to get your badges. And so there's just a lot, and,
I don't think there's one that's more important than any. We need everyone.
The most important people, the spots I fill first after I get everybody's request is registration. We have to have people at registration. That's just, the rest of it can maybe take care of itself on a shoestring, but you have to have people at registration, taking tickets, taking money, doing the credit cards, all that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you guys can't get into the show, what's the point? Right?
We have no show if you're not here.
Yeah. So, do you have any other questions for us?
This is great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, this is...
Can't wait for you to volunteer with us.
Yeah. What's your name? Kelly? Nice to meet you, Kelly. I am Les. And one thing I tell all my volunteers, and you've seen me tell people this over and over and over again, my brain does not remember your name. Kelly, right? Okay. So you're saying I'm old. Thank you very much. There we go. Welcome to the club.
Kelly, welcome. We're so glad you're here.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Sure.
What he's saying is when he sees you again, he'll be like, podcast stage, Louisville.
Yeah.
Remind me of your name.
I'll know where I know you from, but I'll be like, I have no clue. I'm like, Amy, help me out. Who is this? Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. Awesome.
Very good.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure where.
Yeah. So we have some other volunteers standing back there talking to Brandon Peters. We have Jessica and we have Amber, who Amber's already said I'm not coming up on stage and talking. Hey, Jessica, do you got 5 minutes for me? Oh, you got time for me?
Amber said she can now. Should we have two?
Oh, okay. Sure. Because I have some questions for Jessica. Do we have all 4 mics on, Brandon? If they come up here. Okay, cool. This mic's on. Just find a seat. Get comfortable. Yeah. So we've been talking about volunteering at PopCon. And
How long have you been with
you
PopCon,
should be,
Jessica?
yeah. Yeah, you got to get close to your mouth.
Yeah, I don't know how to do this. I've been with PopCon for 3 years.
And what do you do?
I help with the handlers on Celeb Row, so I make sure the handlers are happy and the celebs are happy, and it's a great gig.
And I'm glad you're here because you're great at it.
Oh, thank you.
my
You're
friend.
very good at
You're
it.
very good at
What
it.
about Amber? How long have you been with PopCon?
I've been with PopCon 10 years now.
Wow.
Sure.
I'm 1 year under how old the con is.
Yeah, because you have to be 18 to volunteer.
Yeah, and I
is
wasn't
the
my
general
first
rule.
year.
Yeah.
I was going to say she started when she was 12.
adorable.
Oh, she's a baby. Oh, she's so
She's a baby.
And what do you do now?
I help with vendors, but next year I am branching out and helping more with celebrities.
Yeah.
Okay, well, not everybody
Cool.
can work with the celebrities.
Yeah,
okay?
not everybody gets to work
Why don't
with
you
the
chat with us
celebrities.
about vendor reg,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
But before we get into vendor, no, she's not going to be your assistant, Brandon.
You're not a celebrity enough.
Kelly can be your assistant. There you go. Hey,
Kelly's volunteering.
Kelly's
next
volunteering to be Brandon's assistant. There we go. How are you at tech? Are you okay? Can you plug cables in?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all what Brandon does. Plug cables in, and sometimes he
even
hits
push
the record
record.
button. If you notice, there's 4 of these signs up here that says, "Hey, Brandon, make sure you hit the record button." So, what I want to ask you two is why I brought you up here. Is you guys work at different shows
Yes.
besides PopCon?
Yes.
Yes.
And so, do you want to, Amber? Do you want to start out? What other shows do you work at?
I also work with Starbase Indy, which is a Star Trek Math and Science STEM convention. I'm trying to remember what this year's theme is.
It's okay.
Bringing in new worlds, embracing new worlds.
Embracing new worlds. Sure.
That's what it is.
Okay, cool. And how many volunteers do you guys normally have at your show?
Way less than PopCon does.
Way less than
Way
PopCon.
less than PopCon does.
Yeah.
We have maybe 15.
But you have a lot smaller show, right?
It's a much smaller show, yeah. We generally only get about 500 in attendance, if that.
Okay. So let's switch to a much larger show.
Okay.
And talk to Jessica.
Ooh.
Jessica, what much larger show do you volunteer at?
I work for PopCon, or not PopCon. Right now it's PopCon.
It's only PopCon.
I'm so tired.
We've already discussed it with
Yes.
whoever's listening that we're tired. I'm
Yeah,
not sure why we were chosen, but we'll sit down for an hour.
I also work for Gen Con, which is a gaming convention in Indianapolis. We have about 70,000 attendees. So,
Oh, wow, I was right.
yeah. I'm the head of operations in the vendor hall. So I have a very small staff, which includes one of our handlers over there. And I've been with them for about 10 years.
Yeah. So, why do you guys like volunteering, and what do you get out of it that makes you keep you coming back? Because it's not the pay, right?
It's not the hours.
It's not the. It's not
People.
getting. It's the people.
It really is.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love my little con families, both individually. I have reasons that I stay with Starbase, and I have reasons that I stay with PopCon, and it's all just the people.
What about you, Amy?
Oh, this is open to me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Same
You just don't get to sit here and
same
look pretty.
question. Yes. Oh, bummer. I'm zoning out. Same, honestly. I think it's our family, yes, that we meet, our volunteer family and our con family, but I also just love people, period. So bring me all the attendees. I want to make everybody happy.
Yeah. What about you, Jessica? What makes you keep coming back?
What about you, Les? What keeps you
Yeah,
coming
you
back?
can't skip right over yourself.
can't
You're a
skip.
volunteer too.
Why have I kept
What
volunteering?
keeps you coming back?
What keeps me coming
other
back
than me?
is all your all's beautiful faces.
I said other than me.
Other than you, did that right there.
Yes.
That just happened right in front of us.
Aw, that
a big hug
Bree.
from Bree to Brandon. That's why I keep coming back because I get to see my
Get up here, Bree.
family, like have a good time, see each other. We joke around. We I get a hard time from everybody because
do.
I also dish it out a little bit. But as my
the
dad said,
Snickers.
is if you can't dish it, if you can't take it, you shouldn't dish it out. So
That's
I've over the years have gotten much tougher skin, and now there's multiple stickers of me out there.
You're
on
welcome.
these water bottles and that sort of thing.
Custom made.
So I'm going to have to peace out.
Yeah,
'Cause
because you got to go work.
Someone has to go to the bathroom.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's the glamorous part of my job. Actually, it's cool because I get to sit with the celebs and get them.
Why,
to
they
know
go
a
to
little
the
better.
bathroom?
No, the handler has to go to the bathroom. So I'm on
Gotcha.
my way for that. But
Okay.
thanks for including me.
Thanks for
no
chatting
problem.
with
Thanks
us.
for coming, and I'll get it. I gotcha.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. You're just going to leave this one on and fade it down on the board. Gotcha. Cool. Where were we at? Me talking about why I volunteered for PopCon. for
Yes,
so
what
long?
keeps you coming back?
Keeps me coming back. I would say not only is my con family, right, which has grown to, hey, no problem, anytime. Yeah, yeah, ask Brandon where this is going to be so everybody can hear it. I don't know. It's probably going to be on the PopCon or the Brandon Peters podcast. The Brandon Peters show. Yeah.
Fancy.
Sorry. Yeah. It's a YouTube channel and
Ooh.
okay. There you go. It's nice meeting you, Kelly. I look forward to seeing you in Indy. Okay, great. So the question was that we've been avoiding is why do I keep working for PopCon? I like to see the fans having a great time. I've done a lot of stuff in my 50 years, and being able to make people's dreams come true, you don't get to do a lot in your lifetime. And when people honestly tell you that, that's a pretty cool feeling. Because you're letting people meet their stars and their idols, and people that seeing people freak out or cry when they see somebody. It's it makes you feel good and makes you realize why you're putting in the long hours. And for me, it's throughout the year, like looking at applications, communicating with people, all that sort of thing. So. Oh yeah, we do help the vendors. Thank you. Yeah, and that's one thing that the con can't have, or it's not really good con unless you have good vendors. And so we're always looking for those folks as well and helping them. And Amber's in vendor registration. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so vendor reg, we work hand in hand with the vendors from literally Thursday to Sunday, load in to load out. We're there to give them support in any way that we absolutely can.
Yeah. And you're also, we also have people that are getting those applications in.
Yes.
And communicating with them and making sure that they know what spaces they're in and when they can come to the load. There's a whole logistics side of running a show that is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Right? It's
very
just
crazy.
Dealing with vendors is getting them in here. How do you efficiently get people in here when the loading docks are non-traditional loading docks like we have here, or not what we're accustomed to anyway in Indy? Getting people in, getting people out, be it people, selling laser cut wood items over here or Funkos over here, or the 501st, right? It's organizing all that stuff. And so we
Yes.
have a lot of people, because we also have volunteers helping with cosplay as well.
Correct. It's a very delicate mix to get everyone placed and to not have too many people that are the same things next to each other, so that everyone has a chance to equally make their money as well as have a good time and see things that they wouldn't normally see at other cons.
Right. So what's been your favorite volunteer experience here at PopCon?
That is always a tough one every year that you ask it.
Well, and it doesn't have to be like I find it very hard to say I have a top one. I have a top memory from every year, maybe, but not a overall arching. Like this is the best experience overall.
I think it's just seeing the vendors that I've dealt with year after year for the last 8 years that I've been in vendors come and grow. I love being able to see that, and I love interacting with them and getting to see how they've changed their product, how they've changed as people, because some of them, there's one that her very first year with us, she just started out, she was very timid, very quiet, and now she is a very well-known vendor, not only with PopCon, but with celebrities because of the work that she does for voice actors.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just seeing her grow is absolutely phenomenal to me.
Love
And
that.
I've got to
That's
be a
so
part
cool.
of that, just a small part, but I've still been able to watch that. And that's great to me. That's probably my favorite volunteer experience, because without volunteering, I never would have been able to be a part of that.
Cool. What about you, Amy?
I'm trying to think. I think maybe last year took the cake only because I don't know.
Last year in Indy or last year or in Louisville?
Last year in Indy, because we did have a couple of I guess both, but in Indy specifically, we had a couple celebs from the Gilmore Girls.
I remember them.
Growing up and watching shows like that, you never imagine that you're going to one day meet these people. And my niece is named Lorelai from the show Gilmore Girls. So for her and also for her mom who named her, to get to meet some of the stars from the Gilmore Girls and have that memory is so cool. And I think maybe something that neither one of them ever would have expected.
Yeah, because your niece was also on staff.
Correct.
Right?
That's the other thing. Once you start volunteering, you start dragging everybody that you know and love into it with you.
It's true.
Oh, yes. My niece and my soul sister Becca is now part of the family. And once you, and again, it's, things that if I didn't volunteer first, I would never even know existed, right? I would never even know the opportunities are out there. So to be able to have that experience and to watch them have that experience probably was top of my list for last year. So
one of my favorite stories
tell us
is very first PopCon, and it's in Indy, and we had a show at the Vogue Wednesday night before load in, and Christian Nair, who plays Hodor, also is a DJ. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so he was
Cool little
DJing a
backup
set
gig.
at the Vogue, and Carl's like, "Hey man, come down, crash on my couch, and we can go backstage." And so that's what happened. The green room at the Vogue is like a closet. It's so
I can't imagine.
It is so small, and
It's not a huge bar.
no, it's not. But so I got to drink beer with Hodor and just kind of chill out, which was
In your wildest dreams, did you ever see that happen? Was that ever on your lifetime bingo card?
no,
didn't think so.
never, never. I mean, like, there's so many people that I've interacted with that it's crazy.
Yeah.
Right. And like you had people from Parks and Rec.
I did.
That's
that's
my
top.
favorite memory
Really?
of you. Not
That's the
knowing
first
what
time
to
you ever
do.
humiliated me in front of a celebrity.
I did
so
not
that's
humiliate you.
Getting humiliated in front of a celebrity is just part of the draw.
I was gonna say, it's basically
It happens
it's
to
like
everyone.
the initiation. Yeah,
Well, that's like Jordan got hers this year.
she did. Oh, she gets it every year. But yeah,
I mean, I think this was the worst.
well, and I think it's not all about the celebs, right? I love you said the word interaction, and that kind of triggered something in me. I watched standing outside the convention hall, literally right before I walked up to stage, and two different groups of folks were stop. Jordan, who we were just talking about, clearly
we
just
were.
had a story
We were
that
just
we're
talking
gonna
about you.
be hearing about later. Do you want to come tell your story on stage?
Oh, come on, Jordan. People, the people want to hear your
Give
story,
the people what they
Jordan.
want.
Oh, yeah, okay. Now I'm going to go buy stuff from vendors.
Please do that. Yes. But anyway, there were two different groups of people, but I think they were cosplayed as similar thing.
Oh,
But
sure.
it's watching them
Interact.
and
Yes.
realize each other and take pictures of each other and just the joy that, you're around people who they're going to get it just the way that you get it. So that's everywhere. That's everywhere you look. It's everywhere, everywhere you turn, especially at PopCon. So
Yeah, I mean, you can find somebody out here that's into the same
Absolutely.
stuff that you
And
are,
that's
whether
like-
it's board gaming or Funkos or lightsabers or art
anime or
3D
it's-
printing or
exactly.
laser etching or whatever.
or this one specific show or this one specific game or this one
Exactly.
podcast that speaks to you. I think at conventions it's a
the
community.
Brandon Peters Show,
It's
the one
a
podcast that speaks to you.
it's a reason to come together, right, and celebrate what you get excited about, and that
it
there
is.
are others that are going to be there that are just as excited as you. So
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
that's top of my
Definitely.
list. I think
Well,
of
and,
reasons
like-
why I come back.
I think the thing that's going to stand out for me for this show is being able to take an hour and hang out with my friends that do the improv stuff.
Exactly.
Like Don and Joshy
Yes.
and-
I adore
and
them.
I adore them too.
Martin Jones,
I love to
aka
bully them.
Jonesy, on 8 p.m. after Bangers and Mash.
I ran into a girl that I was in marching band with and
yeah.
graduated high school with and haven't
That-
laid eyes on her
and
since.
that's crazy.
It's the best. It's the absolute best. You never know who you're going to run into. So
This is true.
yeah.
But being able to do the improv workshop with those guys, because we've hung out with some of the same people for a long time, and be able to learn that and then be able to go to have dinner with them afterwards. It's just kind
And
of
it's fun for them to share kind of their craft with you. And,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And
you know,
then, and
it's
then
such a
they're
great-
very encouraging because they're like going, you're not really bad at this.
Yeah.
Right? You can do this if you
Oh,
wanted.
so what I'm hearing is Les is going to be part of the next Breakfast Anytime show.
Second breakfast.
It's second breakfast.
That's what
Yes.
I meant.
Change.
I am not going to be part of the second breakfast.
I think we
he
need to go
could.
chat with Don and Josh once we
Oh,
leave
yeah.
here.
I
I-
think
I
they're already
definitely-
gone. I think they were leaving because they had a wrestling pay-per-view
Yes,
to
they
catch.
did.
They
Yes,
did.
they
were
did. They
leaving
are
at
gone.
2.
That's right.
So they might already be down
They
the
might
road.
already be
It's
down.
fine. I have
That-
them on Facebook.
That's
Yeah,
a
same.
shame that I won't have to be. They do a great job in improv.
do,
Oh,
yes.
it's so fun to watch those guys.
I love it.
They have a
Yes.
show next week in Greenwood too.
Do they? Yeah.
Where?
They told me, but I forget.
can talk about it
We
later.
can talk about that later.
So is there anything else we haven't covered about? Oh, what are tips if you're going to volunteer? What are your pro tips that say you've made the deal with the devil and decided to do all 4 days of the show? What do you need to know from a pro? Like, I
Be
got
very
2 pros.
flexible in what you are going to be doing. Don't have your heart set. Say you tell them that you're going to be on main stage all 4 days. Don't have your heart set that I'm going to be main stage all 4 days and nothing else. You will be pulled if needed, and you might flourish in another area. I don't even know what I was supposed to do my first year. I got lost, found by someone, and brought in, and I've been in vendors off and on ever since. It hasn't always been with them.
I love
So
that.
definitely be very flexible in what you have in mind for what you're going to be doing for the whole weekend, because it could change at the drop of the hat.
That is such a great point. And we were chatting with Kelly earlier that the best volunteers are the ones that show up just with the willingness to do what needs to be done, because that changes, by the hour, by the minute, by the
100%.
second, especially at a show like PopCon. So that's great.
Take Logan, for example. He's done anything and everything this entire
He
weekend.
is a great, great, great example. Yes. Anything you ask of him, he says yes.
Patches, not so much.
Patches, not so much. Patches is a problem child. What do you think? What's your number one tip?
My number one tip is one I picked up from Carl. Wear a different pair of shoes every day.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I've got that one unlocked.
Yes, you are locked down. You got the glittery shoes locked down. But we have 20 to 30,000 steps every day.
Oh, yeah.
Easy.
Easy.
And especially in Indy.
Especially in Indy.
In Indy, I think we were doing at least 25, I think, the last time we looked.
Absolutely.
Each day. Indy is going to be probably closer to 35.
Absolutely.
Because the convention center spread more horizontally. This is the Kentucky International Convention Center is more vertical.
Shout
It's
out
up
to
and down.
KICC.
Yes.
This
Saved us
footprint
10,000.
is absolutely fantastic. We love
Saved-
this.
Saved us 10,000 steps
Absolutely,
per day.
it did. So, and the staff has been wonderful.
They've been good to work
They
with.
have been so helpful and so
yes,
friendly,
they are
so.
very helpful. Everybody in Kentucky's been really cool.
It's really been great. I think it's been a great show.
Had
Louisville
some good food.
Louisville's really embraced us. I think
They have.
there's been things going on at night, and we've heard.
Oh,
we've
and
heard
just going
great
out and
things.
seeing the live music as we got done.
So fun.
Was it last night or the night? It all blends together.
I was
Last
gonna say I
night.
feel like it was all nights.
They did all nights, but last night was the big concert. that
Oh,
they
gotcha.
had.
Oh, I think it was the night before then.
Yeah.
Because it was not the big show. It was there was just some live music going on, like right outside the convention center as we were walking out at God knows.
I love
when.
that.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
So wearing comfortable shoes, stay hydrated.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Stay
Yep.
hydrated.
Have a water bottle with you. Have some bag you can throw some snacks in. And come in with a good attitude.
Just a good
Yes,
attitude.
good
That's
attitude
it.
and a smile.
That's it.
Yeah, if you can come in with a good attitude, you're going to go a long ways volunteering with us. Being adaptable, being
Oh, yeah.
able to think on your feet and roll with the punches, and just
Just keep everyone happy and moving. That's all we
and-
ask.
And that's hard.
That is hard,
it's
but
a
it
hard-
takes an army. But we're
yeah.
building that army slowly.
Yeah, slowly.
And thanks
Soon
to
we'll
Les,
take
thanks
over
to
the
our
world.
our fearless leader. So
Why, thank
we're
you.
all in
Fearless
such great
leader.
hands. Yeah, with
Yeah.
Les, he has a big job. There's a lot of folks to keep track of. It's a lot of
A lot of us
it's a
to
lot
put
of
up
skill
with.
sets. It's a lot
It's
of
a lot to
personalities.
put up-
It's a lot to put up with. Yes, but he does an excellent job.
We don't make it easy for him.
We
either.
don't make it easy with our stickers and BS, but he puts up with us, and we certainly do appreciate him. So.
Yeah.
And as a volunteer, you get to join in the
course.
shenanigans.
Why do you think we come back, Amber? What do you
Right.
think Amber and I are here for?
I don't know. Sometimes.
Just
Shenanigans.
Just
Just-
to give-
100%.
Exactly. Less shenanigans.
Is there any last minute? I think we're running low on time.
Yeah.
So
We can wrap it up.
we can wrap it up. Is there any last things that you want to think we need to cover?
Don't be afraid. If you have ever thought about volunteering, PopCon is a wonderful first convention to volunteer for. We're all a family. We'll take good care of you.
We listen.
We listen. We try to have fun.
Yeah.
We want everybody to have fun.
Yeah,
So-
that is kind of my goal, is to make sure you guys have a good time. Work has to be done. I mean, that's part of the gig, is work has to be done, and it's work sometimes.
Sometimes.
it's not
Most of the time it's
necessarily
fun.
enjoyable. Like if you're going to volunteer all 4 days in Indy in June at a hot convention center
Be prepared.
and unload trucks.
Especially that Thursday.
Oof.
Bring
That-
layers.
Be
Yeah.
comfortable.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a rough. It can be a rough day. It's also a fun day, right?
is
Because
fun.
you're
It is
seeing a
very
lot
fun.
of the folks for the first time. Getting reacquainted with people you haven't seen for maybe a couple years. You never know, because people got this stuff that comes up, and have started school, and maybe haven't volunteered for a year or two.
But it really is something, I think, to walk into an empty hall and then over the course of 24 to 36 hours, see it become a convention.
It is
Very cool.
That is one of my favorite memories.
It really- yeah.
Is running on an Indy. We have a scooter, and one person sits in the front, and then other person is reverse and facing the back. And so Amy and I have ran around on that scooter, delivering things all over the place, and I have taken video on my phone of just everything going on and getting set up, and it's just tables and chairs. At first, it's just tape on the ground, and then it's tables and chairs, and then the vendors slowly start trickling in, and then banners start going up, and then more people start getting here, and then you get walls of Funko Pops or T-shirts, and it's just really neat to see. And then the teardown is also interesting to watch
Very
too,
much.
because it is just everybody's trying to just get out of here as fast as possible, and it's very interesting to watch it all go down.
Agreed.
So
Oh, yeah.
And volunteering
definitely
is a great way to have a front row seat to all of
It
that.
is definitely
Yes.
a front
Yeah.
row seat, and it's great to experience.
So I want to thank Brandon
Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you, Brandon.
For letting us have an hour of of time on the podcast stage. It's been great. I hope you actually recorded this because I don't want to have to do it again.
My Fitbit is confused that we've been sitting for an hour. It just yelled at me, so.
Working the pipes.
Okay.
That's what you're doing. So thank you.
What do you got coming up next, Brandon?
I have poorly described movies. The game.
The
That
game?
sounds fun.
Needs people in the seats to play. Or I'll just play it and see if Patches can do a good at it. But, yeah.
Are you describing the movies or is the fans describing
We describe them to them, and they can win a prize.
Oh,
I
what
have
can they
prizes
win?
There are little figures, there's shirts, there's all sorts of things that are available if you win.
Awesome.
I got these little things that are like these sand things, and you dig, and there's a prize inside of them.
Is that called a shovel?
No, no.
I'm here all week, folks. I just took an improv class. I'm a really good
Right.
comedian now.
I believe. All right, but thank you very much. We're gonna take a short break, and we'll be back.
Thank you for listening. The Brandon Peters Show is a Creative Zombie Studios production. Produced by Brad Shoemaker and Brandon Peters. Written and edited by Brandon Peters. Announcer vocals by Jessica Alsman. Theme song by Metavari. Web design and show art by Brad Shoemaker with Brandon Peters. All music and clips featured in the episode are property of their respective studios and no infringement is intended. Additional information on this and other episodes at BrandonPetersShow.com. For any inquiries, press opportunities, or sponsorship, contact mail at BrandonPetersShow.com. The show is available on Apple Music, Spotify, or anywhere podcasts are found.